Hi, it's Richard Silver, and I'm from the Silver Burtnick Group at Sotheby's International Realty Canada. And I have a great guest with me, Audrey Loeb, who is infamous. She is the lady that we always turn to when we have questions about condominiums. She basically wrote the book on condominiums that the lawyers learn from. And she has been a friend for a long time, and I just want to ask her some questions. First of all, Audrey, how are you doing?
I am doing wonderfully. I'm very fortunate to still have work, and all in all, it's turning out to be not a bad time right now.
Yeah, you get to stay home.
Well, yeah, I get to stay home, although I have gone into the office a few times because lawyers are considered an essential service. So
Yes.
we can go into the office. I don't use transit, so I'm able to go in.
Yeah, you've always been somebody who walks to work and walks back from work. Good for you.
I'm a walker. Yeah.
I know, me too. I love to walk. That's one of my favorite things. And yeah, it's tough. I don't know what, this is hard enough, but without being able to do a walk, and certainly we've got the dog, so that helps. So
yeah,
tell me about what's happening. Are you able to connect with clients, to close transactions? How's that happening now?
Well, the land registry offices are still open, so transactions and searches and registrations of liens and all those kinds of things are still happening. We can get signatures from people electronically, so we are not finding that the real estate transaction part is in any way impacted to date.
Any word on the if somebody had a family estate, are the estates able to close? Is escrow able to move ahead or not?
That I don't know the answer to.
Okay.
I don't know whether the probate courts are open. I don't know the answer. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll find out about that and get back to
from
everybody.
Somebody else.
Yeah. Okay. So payments, signing. How do you go about that if you cannot see the client face to face?
Well, assuming you know the client, and typically we do know our clients, we send them the documents electronically to deal with. There's a lot less signatures required in a real estate transaction than there used to be now that everything's done online.
Yeah.
So, and money can be transferred by the banks electronically into the trust account. So it's fine. We're not having a problem with it.
It can be done, and it can be done. Now, here's a couple of questions, because I know you're a specialist when it comes to condominiums. I've heard from a couple of other realtors in the office that condominiums are disallowing viewings of properties. They're not allowing anybody who is not an owner to come into the building. Is that doable? Is that
I think it is doable, Richard.
Yeah.
I think these are extraordinary times, and boards are making decisions based on the interests of the owners. And I think that in many buildings, they have taken the position, and I think they're entitled to, that they will not allow realtors in, they won't allow renovators in, they won't allow visitors in.
Mm-hmm.
I think different buildings, however, are taking different positions. So there is no uniform across the board standard that is being applied for all condominium corporations, and each board is making its own decision. So it's really, I think somebody sent out a notice the other day that, if it's a final viewing, if somebody's done a virtual tour and now they're coming for a final viewing, they'll let them in provided they meet all the COVID-19 protocols.
Yeah.
But no more, as there's no more open houses, and really people don't want people coming in their buildings. It's very, very understandable the position that these boards are taking.
Yeah, certainly. We have one listing right now in a building, and they have some very strict protocols. And almost, we as Sotheby's as well have very strict protocols as to who can go in and how they can go in, et cetera, et cetera. And, but there's, it's a lot of it where my concern is, it's something that you need to handle at the front desk.
If you have a front desk, sure. It's exactly where it should be handled.
Yeah.
But not every building has a front desk.
Yeah, that's
In
true.
fact, most do not.
So I just, anything else that comes to mind, you know, how we can deal with this better? I want you to search your crystal ball and tell us how long this is going to be and what the damage will be. And, you know.
Well, part of the problem is every single day things are changing.
Oh my God.
So, when we're trying to notify our clients of what to do, I'm usually the one, people say, well, let's send out a bulletin about this. And I say, you know what? It's too early. Let's wait a week or two, because these decisions are premature. In 2 weeks, we may find that we've really flattened out the curve and it's only going to be a couple more weeks. Or we may find we didn't impact, that's not COVID, we didn't impact the curve at all. And we therefore need to take even greater precautions. So honestly, we're making our decisions on a week by week basis as we see how things are unfolding. And I think, we've put, for example, in some of our buildings, we've put construction holds on in-suite renovations.
Yes.
And we said, we're asking you to hold for 2 weeks until we can come back and reevaluate. So we are dealing with our boards and with what's happening on an ongoing basis in an effort to be reasonable, in an effort to be responsible. There are communities with very at-risk residents,
right,
and who are anxious. And so even if there is a very, very low risk that COVID-19 might end up being in the building, the anxiety that it creates having strangers in the building at this time is something that the boards have to consider when they come to their conclusions about how they're going to deal with these things.
Now, let me ask you a question about some of the new construction that's happening. I myself am, looking, we own we bought a property that'll be ready in a couple of years. I see that they're still doing construction on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were going to delay construction. Are you also hearing about maybe some buildings that have been pulled completely off the plans and will not be happening?
No, we haven't, but it's still too soon, Richard.
Yeah.
Really, this is only 2 weeks. The construction industry is considered an essential service, yes, as are realtors, but there are limits on what their essential services should be. It's too early to tell how long this is going to last and what the impact's going to be and how it's going to affect the market of new construction condominiums. We'll have to wait, again, a few weeks to see what impact this is having generally.
So, as far as you know right now, you haven't heard of any delays in closing? No. Or, okay, great.
No, I have not. That's not to say it isn't happening, but we have not received notification on behalf of our clients.
Okay, so Audrey, tell us just in closing a little bit about yourself and where people can find you if they have any questions. And
well, my name is Audrey Loeb. I am a lawyer with the firm, a partner at the firm of Shibley, Righton, LLP. And if you Google Audrey Loeb, L-O-E-B, you'll find my contact information at my firm. And perfect. We're up and running. We're working from home. We're getting all our phone calls, all our emails. We really haven't skipped a beat for all intents and purposes. Except wonderful. All our questions now are about COVID-19 and everything else has been put on the back burner.
Yeah, I can imagine. Same with us.
Yeah.
So again, thank you very much for the information.
Pleasure.
It's been wonderful, and you are my lady, and
Nice to see you. Take care, Richard.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.